Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trading with Ashley show. Happy Mother's Day to all of you moms out there. It is my desire to be a more present mom and now a more present grandmother that is the whole catalyst for me to have started trading to begin with. And I'm so excited for those of you that are picking this up and it's turning into a situation where you can really be more present for your family. I have a community member that just started with me about 9 weeks ago, and she has already produced about $20,000 in her first week of trading, and I am so excited for her. Her name is Dana, so congratulate Dana because now she is totally rethinking her future and the opportunity that she has now that trading is a viable option for money. And so, speaking of community, for those of you that are in my community, we had such a great week with our $25,000 challenge. It's a 6-week challenge. We are in week 2, and the whole goal is to see how far we can get with producing income off of trading options on that account. And so this week, at the end of week 2, we're already at $1,150, which is about 120% annual return. So pretty exciting. For those of you that want to join in on the last 4 weeks, make sure you join my community by booking a brief call. We'll set up a conversation with you and see if it's a fit, and we'll get you in so that you can join all the fun. Now, today I want to talk about what's going on in the market this week. So far this weekend, we are getting some positive news about the negotiations with China that may provide a great gap up opportunity on Monday. So at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a potential play. Now, the play that we did last week that I shared with all of you, I was teaching my daughter how to do an iron condor. We actually, if you would have taken that play, you would have made $100 because the SPY needed to stay between a certain range, and it did. It ended the week at about 564, so it stayed in the range. And when you do an iron condor, you want your stock to stay in the middle, or your ETF. So that was good that worked out, and I hope your play works out for you that I'm offering you this Sunday. So let's go into the computer. I'm going to share with you everything that's going on this week so that you can be prepared. Kicking off the week, we have Tuesday, May 13th, the April Consumer Price Index, CPI, as most of you know it. Now, just be prepared, the market impact. Economists are expecting that the CPI data will confirm rising inflation. So we'll see if that's the case. Part of it is due to the U.S. tariffs. Higher than expected inflation could strengthen the U.S. dollar and pressure equities, while lower than expected figures might boost stocks and weaken the dollar. Now, moving on to Wednesday, May the 14th, it's OPEC monthly report. The market impact is that it could influence oil prices, which we trade some of those in my community, and it affects energy stocks and inflation expectations. Shifts in production or demand forecasts may lead to volatility in commodity markets. Thursday, May 15th, we have the April Producer Price Index, the PPI, and the Core PPI. The market impact, rising PPI could signal higher future consumer prices impacting bonds and equities. Weaker than expected data might ease some concerns about inflation supporting stock markets. If that's the case, then we'll see the markets rise. Thursday, we have a couple of events. So Thursday, May 15th, we have April retail sales. Now, the market impact, strong retail sales could signal robust economic growth, potentially strengthening the dollar and equities. Weak data may raise concerns about consumer demand, especially with the tariff-related uncertainties, and it could pressure the markets. S&P Global suggests potential weakness in retail sales due to slowing service activity. So we'll have to see. But also on Thursday, May 15th, we do have Fed Jerome Powell speaking, and speaking, every time he speaks, it gives market volatility. Now, Powell's comments could sway expectations for future rate hikes or cuts. A hawkish tone indicating a tighter policy might boost the dollar and pressure stocks, while a dovish tone could support equities. His recent statements emphasize economic resilience but noted tariff-related uncertainties. So as tariffs start to get resolved and we actually have done deals, that will help support Jerome Powell making a decision. Now, Friday, May 16th, we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index and the 5-year inflation expectations. This could impact the market because higher consumer confidence could support retail and consumer discretionary stocks, while elevated inflation expectations might fuel concerns about tighter monetary policy impacting bonds and equities. Weak sentiment could signal economic slowdown pressuring markets. And finally, Friday, we have the April industrial production and capacity utilization, how this might impact the market. Weak manufacturing data, as suggested by the April PMI figures, could point to subdued industrial production, potentially weighing on industrial stocks and signaling an economic slowdown. Stronger data, on the other hand, might support market optimism, and we could end the week on a high note. Now it's time to look at a potential play for you. Now, this play is going to expire Monday because I love selling options on the Qs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you two different trades. One, if you have more money in your account to support the trade, and then after that, I'm going to show you a potential credit spread trade that you might want to consider. So I am looking at the Qs, the NASDAQ, and I'm looking at the 5-day chart since this is going to expire in one day. And one thing that stands out to me right here, we're in the middle on the 5-day chart. And if you look at the bottom of the band, it's right here at 487.63. So if we're going to sell a put that expires on Monday, then we can consider using 487 as the base case. So I'm going to go look at that. And then if we're going to do the credit spread, I'm going to go under that 20-period moving average just for a measure of safety. I'll probably open that trade at about 485. So I wanted to give you my methodology and show you the technicals so that you can better understand what I'm using to select strike prices. Now I'm on the option chain and I'm looking at Monday 5/12 as the expiration date. And this will change Monday, especially if we gap up. It's going to offer less for this trade. But what I'm looking at is right here, the 487 strike. So I am interested in selling a put at the 487 strike. At this point, it's offering about $316 to do so, which is pretty exciting in one day that I could make that. Now, if you're using margin, it won't require quite as much cash, but if you're not, it will require the cash available to assume ownership of the shares in case you're put the shares. So that would be in the amount of $48,700, and it would produce around, let's say, $300, just depending on where it is on Monday morning. And that's not bad for a one-day trade. If you have a smaller account and you want to consider a credit spread, let's look right here at 485. Now, this delta is high for credit spreads, but again, I'm assuming we are going to gap up on Monday, so make sure you take a look at the levels before you place this trade. You could always push it down closer to around 480 for a measure of safety. But if we go with 485, what we're going to do for a credit spread, we are going to sell this option at 485, and then we're going to go down to 480 and we're going to buy this put option. Now, how this works is we are going to keep the difference between 241 and 108. And then the cost to put on the trade would be the difference between 485 and 480. When you send this to a ticket, this is what it looks like. Here are my dates, which that's Monday. Here are my strike prices, 485. This is the one I'm selling. And then 480, this is the one I am purchasing. On the net credit, I went ahead and put 130. It's showing 134, but again, I think it will gap up Monday, so it's going to offer a little bit less, but you can adjust this depending on your comfort level. But let's assume I get $130. It's only going to require $500 to put on the trade, so that's an incredible risk to reward in a one-day trade. Now, the way you'd want to manage this is, because the reward is so significant, I wouldn't take any chances. Once we reach maybe about 50%, or if you want to go to 75% on the trade, you'd want to consider closing it down before the day ends, just to be safe, because you never can tell what happens at the end of the day with the market. Sometimes there's some shenanigans going on. So if you take this trade, consider closing it down early. And if for some reason our strike price is breached, let's say we do the 485 and this is breached, then watch it very closely. If it doesn't bounce right back up really soon, then you may want to go ahead and just shut this down for a loss. I hope you found that helpful and enlightening, and I do want to ask a favor of you. So it's Mother's Day, and mothers have so much wisdom. So would you please put in the comment section some bit of wisdom that your mother offered you? Now, it could be financial wisdom, it could be just life lessons. But the best part about being a community here on YouTube is that we all get to share with each other. So I imagine everyone watching would really love to read all of the different life lessons. And I think it would be really helpful. So for those those that no longer have their mama here on earth, it might give them some wisdom that they can use in their everyday life. And for those that are wanting to be a mother, or maybe they're brand new mom, it might help them try to rethink how they're going to parent. So if you would drop something that your mom taught you, I would appreciate it. Now, for those of you that want to watch me teaching my daughters how to trade, I'm going to go ahead and leave a video for you. It's the one that I taught my daughter Landry how to trade an iron condor last week, and you can watch that video right here.